Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So behind me here I have a very large, very heavy flat screen TV that was given to me from a neighbor. Unfortunately it no longer works and they were nice enough to give it to me for scrapping purposes as well as for this video. So thank you for that. And I do want to take a couple seconds to make a special shout out to his grandchildren and especially to a very wonderful girl, Ellie. I look forward to our daily chats as well as hearing your sense of humor and seeing your smile. You know, not only lighten up my life, but I know that you warm and lighten up the neighborhood in general. So shout out again to Mike and family and grandchildren and especially Ellie. So again, thank you for this. I love flat screen TVs because they are 100% scrappable. I do find them quite often. And as mentioned, this one here is very heavy. This is a 55-inch TV, and intact like this, it weighs 55 pounds. I can bring it in as is to a scrapyard and get what we classify as e-waste price, which is about 5 cents a pound. So 55 pounds, great little score from this. However, there are some really nice goodies inside of here that I want to get out first before I bring it in. There is some nice aluminum inside, some gold, some silver, as well as some copper. So very easy to take apart. Gonna do that right now. It is heavy and I do have it on an angle for here just for viewing purposes and hopefully for clarity. For the sake of time, I have already gone ahead and removed the back. The back here is magnetic. If I put a magnet to it, you can see it does stick. So this is actually going to be tin, and this is actually very heavy in itself. Tin right now going for about 10 to 13 cents a pound in London, Ontario. So I will actually keep this off of here and get tin price for this to maximize my profit. So gonna just move this off to the side. The nice thing about these TVs is once I remove the rest of the goodies out of here, I can still bring this into the scrapyard and get e-waste price. I have had a few viewers comment about the plastic and the light bulbs and other items in here that they believe that the scrapyards will throw them into the garbage or the landfill. And that is not the case. They will take these. They have huge skids that are piled up with flat screens like this. They too will remove the goodies out of here and they will send it off to the proper facilities. There are still goodies that will be recycled properly, just like your large CRT TVs. There are facilities that will break them down, process the plastic, the lead, and all the other components. So again, 100% scrappable, so that is definitely a good thing as well. On the back here, just gonna turn this just to show you. I do have behind me a few heavy stands just to keep this up. Gonna move this camera in just a little bit for more clarity. Inside of here, very, very simple, just a couple circuit boards. But what I like about these circuit boards here is this one right here, the metallic look. There are 4 aluminum heat sinks here. Those are gonna be what we classify as extrusion. And I am just gonna remove the last couple screws. I do have a magnet here that is close by because I will collect the screws, and once I am done with removing the rest of these items, I will throw my screws into my tin. So even those are going to be scrappable, which is great. I often keep them in a nice big container, easy to transport, and want to make sure that they are not going to be loose if I go to the scrapyard, potentially popping tires or creating other types of hazards. So easy to transport these in containers, and again, very well scrapped. And another nice thing about having screws is I've never had to buy more screws. I constantly find them off of different appliances, can reuse them. But this circuit board as is, if I was to bring this in, this is going to be a low-grade board. Some scrapyards, depending on where you live, will have 3 classifications depending on what is on your circuit board. There is your low-grade, medium-grade, high-grade, and it all depends on the types of metals found on it. Because this one does not have any precious metals, it is your low-grade. But for me, I'm going to get 5 cents a pound for all of my circuit boards regardless of what is on them. So you do want to check your scrapyard. It does depend on where you live. But again, this one right here, 2 beautiful spools of copper. I call them copper donuts. These are actually going to be number 2 copper. Give me $4.30 a pound for these. These 2 transformers here, there are separate categories, about 10 cents a pound for transformers, but I am going to break these open. There is some nice copper in there that I can see. Going to get the number 2 copper for that as well. The rest of the outside of this is ferrite. I actually just throw it into my tin. Some people will collect it, separate it. There is a higher value for ferrite at different places. But again, for me, easier just to put in with my tin. But again, these, you can see putting these up to in a corner, they are very dusty. But that aluminum there, it looks like it's been put through a mold or a press. Any type of your aluminum that looks like this, and it can be painted as well, is going to be extrusion. And right now, extrusion is going for $1.03 a pound in London, Ontario. So a great price for that. You do want to make sure you separate it. I have a huge bag just from aluminum heat sinks. If this aluminum, like this one right here, this example, this is actually, you can see no real grooves or mold to it. It's just straight. This is going to be clean aluminum. So this right now going for about 50 cents a pound. So still a good price, but you do want to make sure you separate them and upgrade these heat sinks. As well, as you can see, if I turn them, those have little connectors on them. Those connectors actually have copper inside of them. So I will remove the screw. I have a separate container just for these connectors, and I will get as well number 2 copper price for those. I have had some of my viewers comment saying that they have been rejected at scrapyards for these, saying there's too much plastic on it. I would say shop around because of the price and the need for copper. You are going to get copper price for these or a buyer somewhere. So again, number 2 copper for all of these prongs. Some of them will be, as you can see, the plastic top. Some of them will have the copper look on the top, but all of them do contain copper. As well, there is another transformer here. I will break that open. There is a small spool of copper in there. And the rest of this circuit board, once I take the goodies off this, is going to still give me, regardless of what I've taken off on it, 5 cents a pound. This one here is actually a little higher grade. There is a really nice cord that goes to it, and I am just going to actually pull this cord off. It does connect to the bottom, which is going to have gold, but just for the sake of this video purposes, just to speed it up, I want to show you the connector. That does have, you can see gold. That is gold-plated fingers. I will actually cut these off here. I do have a small vial just collected of these. Gonna hopefully refine that down the road. I have seen some people say that high concentrated vinegar will dissolve that off of that and you can refine it later. I have also seen buyers just take the little pieces like this. Online places like boardsort.com will buy gold-plated ticker tape, if you will. But again, some nice gold there. And that will follow down to the eventual moneymaker that I'm going to look at in a second right here. But just going to take off this circuit board because there are some goodies on here. This circuit board is your higher value circuit board, and that's because of the gold on it. Some scrapyards will give you 25 cents to 40 cents a pound for these. Again, you do want to check with your scrapyard, but this does have right here any type of your USB ports. There are gold-plated prongs in there. There is right here 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. Your phone jacks, gonna just turn that for you. There is gold-plated prongs in that. So because of the gold on these, you can get high-grade board at certain scrapyards. Again, at my scrapyard in Sarnia, I get all the same price. So for me, I'm gonna definitely remove these off of here and hopefully extract the gold at a later time. These things right here, these plates that have the ports, these actually are brass. If I scratch this, it will remove a brass color. And I do want to address another question I had from a viewer that asked, how do I tell the difference between aluminum and brass? And very simple, if I just scratch it, it will reveal a gold look. If I scratch it and it revealed, hopefully you can see with that light there, just right there in the corner, that gold look. So that is coated brass. Some items, if I scratch it and it reveals a metallic look underneath, it's going to be aluminum. So scratching that surface, revealing the gold, is brass. So these plates are brass. This is a little bit of tin. I'm going to leave that on for the weight because this board actually doesn't weigh much. These two are actually examples of painted extrusion. Again, the rule, they look like they've been put through a mold or a press. These are actually about 1 cent or 2 cents more than your clean extrusion. Not sure why. I would expect painted, because it has paint on it, going to be dirty, but no matter, it is going to be a little bit higher value. There are as well a couple small clean ones here, so lots of those. If you are into micro scrapping, it does have 1, 2, 3, 4 crystal oscillators. These do have a little bit of silver in it, as well as right here, there is going to be a gold plated prong port. So lots of gold on this for sure. And you do want to check with your scrap yards how they determine or separate their boards. So again, nice board here. The speakers, I leave these speakers on for the weight. I will pull these brackets off. These brackets are just held on with some screws, a little bit of tin here. Again, just gonna get as much tin off here to maximize my profit. But these brackets do add up in weight. I just usually throw them into a small container. Microwaves are always a good way to transport little things like this. But again, some more tin, get that 10 cents a pound. The last two items here, the side circuit board. This one does have a couple screws that I have to remove, but there is a circuit board hidden by plastic with these last tiny screws out of here, just to reveal this plate. Okay, so this one right here does have, just gonna pull it up. I do have safety glasses, but they are over there. Little bit of transformers. I will actually not take the time and open these. Very little copper in here in order to break this off. So I will just leave these actually right on here and get e-waste price. This is actually a kind of a nice weight, but again, not going to touch these. Some people would say they take them all off, but again, it all depends on the scrapper. The wire here, this wire is actually going to be classified as low grade, in my opinion. Very little copper recovery out of these wires. I actually throw these into a bag and I will get mixed wire price in Sarnia, about 55 cents a pound for these because of the heavy plastic on this. Some scrap yards will not even take it for more than 10, 15 cents. But some of these as well will come with the appliance wire. And this one actually did not have it, but I do want to show an example. At a scrap yard, this would actually be classified as your 40% appliance wire. The scrap yards are going to look at plastic to copper ratio and copper recovery. Because this has inside 2 coated strands of copper, as well as an outer shell of plastic, there is higher plastic here, less copper recovery. So the 40% appliance wire. But currently this still is going for $1.56 a pound. So a great price. As you can see, there are brass prongs on the end. Some people leave these on for the weight. I do pull these off. I will put these into brass. Brass has actually gone up 10 cents a pound more. And currently in London, Ontario, this is going for $3.15 a pound. So I do take them off. Very easy to do with these ones. I'm just going to grab it with a pair of side cutters. Just kind of shift it around like this, pop it out. So again, have a really nice container. Does add up quickly in weight, but a great way, in my opinion, to maximize profit. If this was 1 coating of plastic and going to be 60% appliance wire, you do have to remove the end brass plug-in anyway, because in scrapyard, if they have this on there, they will downgrade you because it's more plastic. So if I was to remove this anyway, I'm going to make sure I remove the plug-ins for sure. And I do have a separate video showing you how to remove plug-ins if you need to make plug-in soup or what have you. So I will include in my link or my description the link to that video. So go check that out, but a great way to maximize profit as well. And the last thing here, my money maker, the real place where the gold is. Just gonna quickly remove my last couple screws. Okay, but inside of here, a lot of your flat screens, there are different styles of your gold circuit boards, and we classify them, they're called high peripheral boards on boardsort.com. Currently, right now, boardsort.com is paying about $2.20 a pound American. So, gonna be probably about almost $3 a pound if I was to convert that. However, I do have to, because I live in Canada, I have to factor in shipping costs in order to maximize my profit. These are very light, but again, shipping across to the US can be pricey for sure. So I do want to make sure I have a whole bunch of them. Here again, nice thick piece of tin. This is going to get me my 10 cents. Look how thick that is. So very nice heavy piece. Inside of here, really small circuit board, but still a good one. And it is actually going to run all the way down this flat screen. As well, there is a main controller one here. So just going to quickly remove the screws. A lot of people will actually overlook, they might get this circuit board here, but they do forget a lot of times the nice circuit board that is running the length of the bottom. Sometimes people actually will ask me, where is it? They can't find it, but it is sometimes hidden. You do have to maybe have a flat screen or a flat screen screwdriver, but one little screw that is a little bit stubborn. There it goes. Getting that out. Removing that. Again, a little bit more tin cover. Okay, but there we go. Inside of here, a little bit more gold. Here you go. Look at that nice little chip there that has some gold on it. I will take that off with a screwdriver. I do also remove these little chips. I do have a separate container for my micro scrapping. And I do have a full video showing you how to separate the items. And I will also include the link to that video. But again, some more gold ticker tape. There is 2 gold connector pieces here that I will cut off, as well as that beautiful chip. And as well, turning it, there is another one here. There are a couple, you can see MLCCs on here. They can contain palladium. It does depend on your micro scrapping habits, as well as age of circuit boards. Sometimes people will say that they have been replaced with palladium with other metals. But again, I will collect them all, and there are tons of them on here. But the last thing underneath here, just gonna take a flathead screwdriver, gonna look at the bottom. There is, as mentioned, a circuit board that runs all the way down here. So it is hidden, as mentioned. Just gonna pop this up all the way. And make sure the screws are out of here. But very easy to remove. And I am just gonna use a knife to do this. But I'm gonna go all the way down. Because of the length of this flat screen TV, there's usually 2 different ones. Okay, but I can see right here. Gonna take, last thing, there it is, my knife. Gonna grab my knife blade, just gonna run it all the way down the length of this. Because there are, as I said, ticker tape that is connecting this. I can hear it right there coming off. Okay, so there are 2 of them. I might have to move this a little bit just to remove it. You can hear it snapping there. There it is. So there is my ticker tape. Remove that. Cut it. It's coming out right now. There we go. So there's one, and there's another one all the way down. And look at this beautiful high peripheral circuit board. So again, some really nice rectangles of gold there, as well as all the way down there. Again, this is not pure gold. This is gold plated, but nice circuit board. And again, this weighs very little, but I have a whole bag of them waiting to go. Again, not sure what my future holds with these, if I am just gonna hold on to them and refine them myself, or hopefully maybe in Canada, they will have an online source that's gonna cut down on shipping prices. But there are options for sure online. And there are other people that will buy these, Kijiji or other places that will micro scrap themselves. But 2 of these, look at the length of this one on itself. So 55 inches across, going to be 2 of them. But again, some great gold recovery out of here. The rest of this is, as mentioned, going to give me 100% e-waste price. I am not going to remove the back panel off here because it is going to be connected with light bulbs and other items. But there are other styles as well. I have seen some styles that have a really nice couple aluminum brackets on here. And I do have videos on tons of different TVs and electronics because they are different styles, different models, depending on when they were made as well as where they were made. So again, flat screen TV, 55-inch, 100% scrappable, amazing items, tons of gold, tin, some copper, aluminum, and another item that's been diverted from the landfill. So once again, thank you, Mike and family. Shout out to a very special girl, Ellie. Again, this is going to be my last video with my Movember mustache. I have had lots of comments on that. I'm sure my wife and there are some staff members that are very happy and looking forward to me shaving this dirty thing. So again, thank you again, spreading awareness of men's mental health as well as physical health, as well as everyone's health. So again, thank you for watching. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.